بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم.
شروع اللہ کے نام سے جو رحمان و رحیم ہے.
اقرأ بسم ربک الذی خلق.
پڑھو اے نبی اپنے رب کے نام کے ساتھ جس نے پیدا کیا.
خلق الانسان من علق.
جمے ہوئے خون کے ایک لوتھڑے سے انسان کی تخلیق کی.
اقرأ وربک الاکرم.
پڑھو اور تمہارا رب بڑا کریم ہے.
الذی علم بالقلم.
جس نے قلم کے ذریعے سے علم سکھایا.
علم الانسان ما لم يعلم.
انسان کو وہ علم دیا جسے وہ نہ جانتا تھا.
بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم. السلام علیکم students. We start our class with the name of Allah who is most beneficent and ever merciful. Welcome to all students in our 5th video session of subject science. This is class 8 and the period is science. Students, in the previous video, video number 4, we have completed chapter number 2. Now I am going to start chapter number 3 and the name of that chapter is microorganism and diseases. What is the name of the chapter? The name of chapter is microorganism and diseases. It means we are going to discuss about microorganisms, what are microorganisms, and the diseases. In this chapter we have three main topics. Number 1, what are microorganisms? Number 2, are microorganisms useful? And number 3, diseases caused by microorganisms and viruses. Let's start the first topic, that is microorganism. Before I'm going to give you the definition of microorganism, I want to ask you some short questions. Students, if you look around in your environment, can you see all the living organisms in the environment or which are present on your skin, on the non-living things? If you cannot see the organisms in the environment or present on your skin or any non-living thing, that doesn't mean that they are not existing in the environment. These are the organisms which are too much smaller in size that your naked eye cannot see them easily. Such kind of living organisms which are very smaller in size and cannot be seen by the help of your eye, and it needs an instrument to observe them, then these kind of organisms are called microorganisms. So what are microorganisms? Smallest living organisms can be seen by help of microscope. Students, what is microscope? An instrument which is used to see the objects, which is used to increase the size of objects by the use of lenses. You can observe the smallest or the unicellular living organisms by the help of microscope. Microscopes gives magnified image of the microorganisms which are smaller in size. If we talk about the examples of microorganisms, that what are the examples of microorganism? Examples are bacteria, microscopic fungi, and other organisms include Euglena, amoeba, etc. If you look at this diagram, the first diagram is a diagram of a bacterium, a single bacterial cell. Bacteria is a plural form, whereas bacterium is a singular form. The first microorganism which we are going to study is a bacterium or a bacterial cell. Bacterium, it's a single celled living organism. What is bacterium? bacterium is a single celled living organism, whereas bacteria is a plural form. Where they are found? They are found, its habitat found everywhere. Bacteria are present everywhere on the earth, either in the air, on the table, on even on your skin. On your skin, every time a bacteria is present, that's called Bacillus subtilis bacteria. Okay, if we talk about the structure of bacteria, then the structure of bacteria or a bacterium is very simple. As you can see, this is a singular form of bacteria. This is a single bacterium which is made up of, the outer wall is called cell wall, the inner wall is called cell membrane. The outer wall of a bacteria is made up of cellulose, and then inner membrane is a permeable membrane which we call cell membrane. Inside the cell membrane, this fluid is called cytoplasm. Because bacteria is a primitive living organism, that's why bacteria does not have a true nucleus. They have just a loop of DNA which is present over here. This is a loop of DNA which have all the genetic information of a bacterial cell. There is a thread-like structure which we call flagellum. The one thread-like structure is called flagellum, whereas a pair structure is called flagella. By the help of flagella, bacteria moves from one place to another place. There are some other small thread-like structures. These structures are called pili. And what are pili? Pili are the structures that helps in the attachment of bacteria onto the host cell. If we talk about the size of bacteria, the size of bacteria vary. It ranges from 0.2 to 2 micron in width, whereas 2 to 10 micron in length. If we talk about the comparison of the comparison between the size of bacteria and other microorganisms, then bacteria are greater than viruses and smaller than microscopic fungi. 0.2 to 2 micron width, 2 to 10 micron is its length, greater than viruses and smaller than microscopic fungi. Then if we talk about its shape, bacteria has 3 common shapes. The first one is rod shape, and the example of rod shaped bacteria is Bacillus subtilis. The next shape is spiral shape. This is the spiral shape, and the example of spiral shaped bacteria is Treponema palladium. And the third shape of bacteria is spherical, just like this, and its example is Streptococcus pneumoniae. So what we have discussed about the bacteria, singular form is called bacterium, plural form is called bacteria. It is found everywhere on the earth. Its structure I have told you, I have explained by the help of this diagram. Size, as you can see, 0.2 to 2 micron in width, 2 to 10 micron in length. Bacteria is greater than viruses and smaller than microscopic fungi. It has 3 common shapes: rod shaped bacteria, example is Bacillus subtilis; spiral shaped bacteria, Treponema palladium, and the spherical bacteria which is oval or rounded in shape, and the example is Streptococcus pneumoniae. If we talk about its process of growth or reproduction, then bacteria grow very rapidly on agar medium. It grows rapidly on blood agar medium. What is blood agar medium? A blood agar medium is a petri dish that contain an agar, beef extract, blood, peptone, carbon dioxide, amino acid, nitrogen and sodium chloride salt in a solid form, on which we culture the bacteria and incubate them in an incubator for 48 hours at 35 to 32 degrees centigrade temperature. After that, the bacterial colonies will appear, as you can see in this diagram. This is a red agar, which we call blood agar, on which bacterial colonies appear. One single bacterial colony contains millions of bacteria. One bacterial colony contain millions of bacteria. We cannot see the bacteria, but we can observe the bacterial colony, and here are number of bacterial colonies on a single agar plate or agar medium. This is about growth of bacteria. Now I am going to start the next part, and that is other microscopic fungi, which is also a type of microorganism. What are microscopic fungi? Before starting fungi, you have to have a clear concept about fungi. What are fungi? Fungi are acellular structure whose body is made up of mycelium. What is fungi? Acellular structure whose body is made up of mycelium. And what are mycelium? Mycelium are the thread-like structure which we call hyphae. This is the diagram of a single mycelium of mold. This is hyphae. This is sporangiophore. This is sporangium, and these are spores attached on sporangium. This is the structure of a microscopic fungi. In your book, there are two microscopic fungi are given. The first one is bread mold. As you can see, this is the diagram of bread mold, in which this is a hyphae, this is called sporangiophore, and these are the spores. Another microscopic fungi we have penicillium. Penicillium is also a microscopic fungi. Bread mold is a fungus that affects the or that damage the bread. Bread पर जो fungus लगती है, that is called bread mold. Penicillium is a fungus that sometimes contaminate the bacterial petri plates. So these are two microscopic fungi whose body is made up of mycelium, and mycelium is made up of thread-like structure called hyphae. Yeast is the only fungus which is unicellular. Normally, microscopic fungi are not made up of cells, they are made up of thread-like structures which we call hyphae, but yeast is a fungus which is made up of cells. So, yeast is a unicellular fungus. Fungus is a singular form, fungi is a plural form. Yeast is a unicellular fungus whose body is made up of cell like this. It has outer cell wall, inner cell membrane, then it has cytoplasm, a nucleus, contractile vacuole and mitochondria. Cell wall is made up of chitin, cell membrane, that gel-like substance called cytoplasm, nucleus, vacuole and mitochondria. This is the structure of a yeast cell. And what is the use of yeast cell? Yeast cell is used in baking products. The next part of today's class is other types of microorganisms. Except microscopic fungi and microorganism bacteria, there are some other microorganisms present in your environment, and these are amoeba, paramecium, euglena, diatoms and chlorella. Let's start with other types of microorganisms. The first one is amoeba. What is amoeba? As you can see, it is a unicellular living organism which has irregular body, and it moves with the help of these irregular shapes which we call pseudopodia. So what is amoeba? Unicellular organism, irregular shape, and lives in stagnant water. Sometimes it also contaminates our fresh water. If amoeba enters in our fresh water, it can cause a disease that called amoeboid dysentery. The next microorganism we have paramecium. This is the diagram of paramecium. As you can see, this is a unicellular living organism whose body shape is horseshoe shape. It has a small hair-like structure all around the body, which with the help of which they move from one place to another place. So what is paramecium? Unicellular, horseshoe shape, and where it is lives in warm stagnant water. What is stagnant water? The water that does not move, it remains in standing position, एक ही जगह रुका हुआ ठहरा हुआ पानी, that's called stagnant water. Next microorganism we have euglena. Euglena is a unicellular living organism. This is the euglena. As you can see, it is a flagellated unicellular living organism. It is spindle in shape, moves with the help of a single flagellum, right? It has a unique type of characteristic. It has dual nature. It does not have cell wall, that's why it is considered as an animal, and it has chloroplast which is present in plant cell, that's why it is considered as plant. So what is euglena? Unicellular, plant or animal. Where it is found? Found in fresh water. And talk about its shape, it is spindle in shape. The next one is diatom. Diatoms are unicellular algae. Algae are the primitive green plants which do not have proper root, stems and leaves. These are the diatoms which are unicellular in structure, unicellular algae. Its cell wall is made up of opaline silica. It is a unique characteristic of its cell wall. It is also found in fresh water, ponds and lakes. And the fourth one or the fourth one is chlorella. Chlorella is also a unicellular algae. This is the diagram of chlorella. As you can see, these are the spherical bodies which are filled with a green color pigment called chloroplast. These are the algae which are found in fresh water, and they are also spherical in shape. So in other types of organism, the number one was amoeba, which has irregular body shape and moves with the help of pseudopodia. This is a unicellular living organism. The next one, the number two, was paramecium, which is horseshoe shaped microorganism, move with the help of cilia found in stagnant warm water. The third one was euglena, which is a spindle shape, has dual nature, plant like organism as well as animal like organism, moves with the help of flagella. The fourth one was diatom. Diatoms are the green algae, unicellular living organism, oval in shape, found in fresh water. The last one was chlorella. This is also a unicellular algae which is found in fresh water, and they are spherical in shape. Now I am going to start the third topic, that is viruses. Are they microorganisms? First topic we have completed, that was what are microorganisms. Now I am going to start topic 3.2, viruses. Are viruses microorganisms? There is a question, are viruses microorganisms? This question gives a clear definition of viruses. Usually we have a misconception about viruses, that viruses are the living organisms. That's why we call them microorganisms, but they are not microorganisms, because viruses are those organisms which are non-living outside or inside in the environment and becomes living organism when they enter inside the host cell. What are the host cells? The organism on which virus attack and enter in their body, either it is a plant cell, animal cell or a human cell. That shows virus has dual nature. Outside the host body they are non-living, inside the host body they becomes living. That's why it is not considered as microorganism, but it is considered as microscopic particle, a non-living thing which is too much smaller in size, that cannot be seen with the help of your naked eye. You can only see the virus with a special type of microscope, that's called electron microscope. The virus was first time discovered in 1892 in a tobacco plant. Tobacco plants leaves were damaged by first time they were considered as microorganisms. Scientists were confused that tobacco leaves crop destroyed, and they were puzzled that what kind of organism destroying this crop. Firstly they considered that the tobacco mosaic tobacco crop was destroyed by a bacteria. They examined the organism which destroy the tobacco crop, but they find that there is an organism which is smaller than bacteria. Till then electron microscope was not developed, but the scientists were clear about that this is not organism, this is not a bacteria, this is something else or other than bacteria, which is smaller in size than bacteria and cannot be seen by a compound microscope. In 1935 when a electron microscope discovered, then people were able to see the exact structure of viruses. So in 1935 it was confirmed that a virus which named tobacco mosaic virus caused a disease in a tobacco plant, which we call tobacco mosaic virus, and the disease is called tobacco mosaic disease. This is the discovery of virus, where it is, through this discovery it is clear that viruses are smaller in size than bacteria and can only be seen by electron microscope. They are acellular organisms. What is the meaning of acellular organisms? Organisms which do not have proper cell. They do not have proper cells. That's why they are called acellular living organisms. They are non-living, outside host, and become living inside host and start multiplication or reproduction. In your book, there are 3 viruses are given. The first one is a tobacco mosaic virus, which I have already told you that these virus attacks on tobacco leaves. These are the rod-shaped virus. They do not have any proper cellular structure. The next one is a bacteriophage virus, the virus that attacks on a bacterial cell and increase their numbers. And the third one is influenza virus, a virus that can cause a disease called flu or influenza. I am going to describe a complete structure of a bacteriophage virus and the process of reproduction that takes place in a bacteria by the bacteriophage virus. Okay students, this is a bacteriophage virus which we are going to study in the topic of viruses. The structure of bacteriophage virus is very simple. It is made up of 2 things, that is head. This is a protective covering called capsid, and there is a single loop-like structure called DNA or RNA. This is called collar or neck, and this long tube is called tail, and from tail some tail fibrils arise, and these tail fibrils helps the virus in attachment on bacterial cell. This is a bacterial cell. This is the structure of bacteria, which consists of 2 parts, head and tail. In tail part there is a long tube called tail with tail fibrils. These tail fibrils helps in the attachment of virus on the bacterial cell. The head portion is made up of 2 things, capsid, which is the outer protective covering, and inside the capsid there is a DNA or RNA which has a complete genetic information of a bacteriophage virus. During the process of reproduction, this bacteriophage virus enters or transfer their DNA or RNA inside the bacterial cell. This is a bacterial cell and this is a bacteriophage virus. What happened during the process of reproduction? This bacteriophage virus attached on the cell wall of the bacterial cell, and then this bacteriophage virus release an enzyme that's called lysozyme enzyme, and this lysozyme enzyme breaks the wall of collar, and as well as it breaks the wall of this bacterial cell. Bacterial cell wall removes as well as bacterial cell membrane removes, and then this bacteriophage virus transfer is DNA and RNA inside the bacteria. After that, the capsomere and the tail part and the tail fibril of the bacteriophage virus will decompose or remove. Now what enters inside the bacterial cell? Only viral bacteriophage virus DNA. What enters inside the bacterial cell? Only bacteriophage virus DNA enters inside the bacterial cell. This bacteriophage virus DNA controls the loop of DNA of bacterial cell and starts to make its copy. It makes number of its copy, number of bacteriophage viruses inside the bacterial cell, and stops the process of growth and reproduction of the bacterial cell. As a result, when number of bacteriophage viruses form inside the bacterial cell, these viruses pressurize the bacterial cell wall and brush the بیکٹیریل سیل وال. کیا ہوگا کہ جب بہت سارے بیکٹیریوفیج وائرسز اس کے اندر بن چکے ہوں گے, بہت ساری کاپیز بیکٹیریوفیج وائرس کا جو ڈی این اے تھا بہت ساری کاپیز بنا چکا تھا, اٹ ایگزرٹس پریشر آن دا سیل وال, ایز اے ریزلٹ سیل وال اینڈ دا سیل ممبرین آف بیکٹیریوفیج وائرس رپچرز اینڈ کاپیز آف bacterial cell ruptures and copies of bacteriophage virus appear. This process is called replication of viral bacteriophage virus or replication of formation and copies of bacteriophage viruses. Okay. What happened? First of all, bacteriophage virus attached on the bacterial cell and transfer its DNA into the bacterial cell, and its head and tail will removed, and after that it makes its copies. What are the copies of bacteriophage virus? Same type of organisms like bacteriophage viruses, and then these, when number of bacteriophage viruses are formed inside the bacterial cell, then they exert the pressure on the bacterial cell wall and cell membrane. As a result, bacterial cell wall and cell membrane ruptures, and these bacteriophage viruses release from that bacterial cell. This is the process of increase in numbers of bacteriophage virus, which we also call reproduction in viruses. That is, are microorganisms useful? Are microorganisms useful? The common concept about the microorganism is that microorganisms only cause diseases, but if we deeply study about the microorganism, that there are so many microorganisms which are useful for us. The two important microorganisms are bacteria and fungi. These two microorganisms are the most important decomposers. It means microorganisms are useful for us. What are decomposers? Decomposers are those living organisms which can destroy or which can break down the dead and waste matter into simple organic form by the process called decomposition. So, bacteria and fungi helps in decomposition. They are the important decomposers which clean our environment. Another use of bacteria is bacteria helps in recycling of nutrient. What is recycling of nutrients? Whenever a dead or waste matter goes into the soil, there are some bacteria present inside the soil which break down the dead and waste matter into mineral and nutrients form. They convert dead and waste matter into minerals and nutrients, and these minerals and nutrients are again used by the plants, and we use the plants as a food. In this way, recycling of nutrients takes place. Another use of microorganism is by a technique that is called biotechnology. What is biotechnology? Biotechnology is a technique. What is biotechnology? It's a technique to use microorganisms and biological molecules in industrial and manufacturing purposes. For example, what is number one? Production of food. Like we can make bread, cheese, butter and so many food products by the use of microorganisms. Like yogurt is made up of bacteria called lactobacillus bacteria, and bread is made by a microorganism, microscopic fungi called yeast. Biotechnology also helps in manufacturing of medicinal drugs. Which kind of medicinal drugs? Like antibiotics. What are antibiotics? Antibiotics are the medicinal drugs which are made up of complex chemical compounds produced by the bacteria that kill the bacteria or inhibit the growth of bacteria. It means whenever you are suffering from any bacterial disease, then your physician will prescribe you the antibiotics. And what will antibiotics do? Antibiotics first inhibit the growth of bacteria that enters in your body and cause the infection, and then kills the bacteria. So biotechnology is also used in the manufacturing of medicinal drugs. And the third one is sewage treatment. What is sewage treatment? There are some bacteria present in the environment which are used to break down the sewage waste from sewage treatment plants, as well as the oil in the oil spills. It means they break the waste oil in the oil spills, as well as from sewage treatment plants they break down the sewage waste. So this is the use of microorganism, and they are used by a technique. That technique is called biotechnology. Now I am going to show you how yogurt is made by using biotechnology in industry. To make yogurt in industry, what do we need? First of all, we need milk and the machines that used to make yogurt. First of all, we pasteurize the milk in a machine by heating the milk to kill the harmful bacteria present inside the milk. Every food product have कहीं ना कहीं उसमें bacteria आ जाते हैं. So if you want to kill the harmful bacteria present in the milk, first of all, what we need to do? We need to pasteurize the milk at 72 degrees centigrade temperature. By heating it, the harmful bacteria will be killed. In the next step, what we will do? We add lactobacillus bacteria to the milk, and in the third step, what we will do? We will incubate the milk at 45 degrees centigrade temperature for 5 hours in a incubation machine. After that, what happened during the incubation period? The lactobacillus bacteria secretes an enzyme that's called lactase enzyme. What will lactase enzyme do? Lactase enzyme converts the milk sugar lactose into lactic acid, and this lactic acid curdles the milk to form yogurt, which has a sour taste. After 5 hours of incubation period, the milk will be converted into yogurt. This is the process of making yogurt in industry. Next topic, we have antibiotics. As I have already told you that antibiotics are the medicinal drugs made up of complex chemical compound produced by microorganisms. And what is its function? Its function is to kill bacteria or inhibit the growth of bacteria. The first antibiotic was discovered in in 1928 by Alexander Fleming, and the name of antibiotic was penicillin. How did this antibiotic was first time discovered? Alexander Fleming was working on a bacteria called Staphylococcus aureus. He cultured that bacteria on agar plates and left these plates for incubating in his lab, and went on vacations for few days. When he came back and inspecting the plates which he had cultured with Staphylococcus aureus, he found something. He found that the plates were contaminated with a fungus that inhibit the growth of bacteria. What happened on the Petri plates? Let's suppose this was the Petri plate cultured with Staphylococcus aureus. What happened with this plate? On this plate, some areas will appear bacteria free. He found that on some parts of the plate there were no bacterial growth. When he examined that part, he found that there is a fungus. He found a fungus on clear area and there is no growth of any bacteria. So he examined the fungus and he found that the fungus was Penicillium noctatum, and he also found that this fungus has a substance that can inhibit the growth of bacteria. All over the Petri plate there were the growth of bacteria, but there are some areas where there is no bacterial growth appears. So he suggests that there is a fungus which have a chemical substance that inhibit the growth of bacteria, and he named that chemical substance penicillin, and in this way the first antibiotic penicillin was discovered, which inhibit the growth of bacteria and can be used in bacterial diseases. So here we have completed our topic 3.2, that is, are microorganisms useful, in which we studied about how microorganisms are useful for us. They are like bacteria and fungi are used as decomposer. Bacteria are also used in recycling of nutrient. We can also use microorganisms and other biological molecules by technique. This is called biotechnology, and by the help of biotechnology we can manufacture, we can produce many food products by the use of microorganism. We can manufacture many medicinal drugs like antibiotics, antivirals, antifungals, and we can also clean our sewage treatment plants or the oil spill by using these bacteria. And then we have discussed about the process of making yogurt in industries and how the first antibiotic penicillin was discovered. It was discovered by a scientist Alexander Fleming in 1928 during an experiment. Now I am going to start the third topic, and the third topic is topic 3.2, diseases caused by microorganisms and viruses. Diseases caused by microorganisms and viruses. First you have to know what are infectious diseases. Infectious diseases basically are those diseases which are caused by viruses, bacteria and fungi. It means the disease which is caused by microorganisms and viruses are called infectious diseases. Next is pathogen and or germs. What are pathogens or germs? Pathogens or germs are those microorganisms and viruses which can cause diseases. Microorganisms and viruses which can cause infectious diseases. And the third and most important point are the host bodies. What are host bodies? Those living organisms on which these microorganisms and viruses attack, they are called host body. Bodies or living organisms on which microorganisms and viruses attack. In your book, there are 3 types of diseases, infectious diseases, types of infectious diseases. Number 1, bacterial diseases. Number 2, fungal diseases. Number 3, viral diseases. Bacterial diseases are those diseases which are caused by bacteria. Fungal diseases are those diseases which are caused by fungi. Viral diseases are those diseases which are caused by the viruses. Let's start with the bacterial diseases. So this is a chart that's showing bacterial diseases as well as some fungal diseases. The first bacterial disease in this chart is bacterial meningitis. Bacterial meningitis is a bacterial infection which is caused by a causative agent called Streptococcus pneumoniae. What happened in this disease? Meningeal membrane of brain spinal cord will be damaged. This bacteria damaged the meningeal membrane which is present around the brain and spinal cord as well as the central nervous system. This will be damaged, and as a result of this, what happened? A permanent disability can be happened, loss of hearing can be happened, or a person become a learning disabled child. The next disease is chlorella. Chlorella is a gastrointestinal infection which is caused by a bacteria called Vibrio cholerae. What happened in this disease? This disease attacks on gastrointestinal tract and the most important part on which it attacks is the intestine. During this disease, a person, this disease causes watery diarrhea in a person that leads to dehydration. What is watery diarrhea? Watery diarrhea is a condition in which a person passes watery or liquid bowels 3 times each day, and it will lead to dehydration, means excessive loss of water from the body. The third bacterial disease is diphtheria. This disease is caused by Corynebacterium diphtheriae. Corynebacterium diphtheriae is a disease in which bacteria damage the mucous membrane of nose, throat and tonsils. As a result of this disease, person's mucous membrane will be damaged and a grayish thick covering appears on the throat and the tonsils. The fourth disease is a leprosy. Leprosy is a bacterial infection of skin. Leprosy is a chronic and progressive bacterial infection in which nerves of the skin, limbs, nose and eyes will be damaged and sores appears on that, and leprosy is caused by Mycobacterium leprae, which is a bacteria. The fifth one is pneumonia. Pneumonia is basically a chest infection which is caused by which is caused by a bacteria called Streptococcus pneumoniae. What happened in this disease? In this disease, the bacteria Streptococcus pneumoniae attacks on alveoli of the lungs, air sacs of the lungs. The air sacs will filled with a phlegm or a yellowish liquid. The person feels headache, high fever, pain and coughing. Pneumonia is caused by Streptococcus pneumoniae, and the sixth one is tetanus. Tetanus is a bacterial disease which we also call lockjaw disease. This disease is caused by a virus called Clostridium tetani, and this virus produces a neurotoxin that affects the brain and the nervous system, which can cause muscles spasm or the stiffness of the muscles. The muscles of some parts of your body remains contracted and the body can become paralyzed. The muscles of jaw, facial muscles, neck and chest muscles will become stiff and hard during this disease. That's why it is also called lockjaw disease. The seventh one is the tuberculosis. Tuberculosis is a disease, is a bacterial infection which is caused by a virus called Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Mycobacterium tuberculosis basically attacks on the respiratory tract, and it mainly attacks on the lungs, but it can also damage the other parts like brain and spinal cord. During tuberculosis, a person suffers from chest pain, he suffers from vomiting, chest pain, headache and as well as coughing with blood. Tuberculosis is a very contagious disease. It can be transferred from person to person by coughing, by sneezing. Okay, the eighth one is typhoid fever. Typhoid fever is caused by a bacteria called Salmonella typhi. Salmonella typhi attacks on the gastrointestinal tract and especially a part called liver. It damages the liver. During this disease, person suffers from high fever, headache, vomiting, abdominal pain, loss of appetite and nausea. The last bacterial disease is whooping and cough. It is highly contagious bacterial infection. During this infection, the respiratory tract is affected and a person feels difficulty in breathing. Now I am going to start fungal diseases. We have complete bacterial diseases, in which we have studied total 9 diseases. Now I am going to start fungal diseases. Fungi is a microorganism which can cause disease in plants as well as in animals. Here on this chart there are 2 diseases. Disease number 1, that is ringworm, and disease number 2, that is oral thrush. It is it is a fungal infection that is caused by fungus in animal or a human being. The remaining 3, number 3rd, 4th and 5th disease is a fungal disease which is caused by fungus in plants. Let's start with the first fungal disease, that is ringworm. Ringworm is a fungal infection that is caused by Mycosporium canis in the human beings. What happened during this disease? During this disease, red circular itchy patches appears on the skin in a ring form. That's why it is called ring disease, and it is caused by a fungus called Mycosporium canis. The next one is oral thrush. Oral thrush is a fungal infection of throat and tongue. It is caused by a fungus called yeast. What happened during this disease? During this disease, a yellowish mass appear on the throat, inner lining of the cheeks and on the tongue. The third one disease is a rust disease which is caused by a fungus called Puccinia rust. Usually this disease is observed in a wheat plant. This fungus attack on leaves, leaves, shoot, stem and the flowers. What happened during this disease? Rusty powder, brown powder like patches appears on the leaves, As a result of this fungal infection, the growth of the plant will be stopped. That's called stunted growth. The second, the fourth disease which is caused by fungus in a plant is called mildew disease. Mildew disease is caused by a fungus called Podosphaera xanthi. It affects birds, branches, and the birds, leaves, and shoots. What happened in this disease? In this disease, rapid or completely chlorosis takes place, which leads to browning of tissues in plants. What is chlorosis? Chlorosis is the removal of chlorophyll from the plant. Chlorophyll will be removed from the plant, and the plant will appear, or the leaves will appear in yellowish color, and then they become brown in color and will be shedded. This disease is called mildew disease, which is caused by a fungus called Podosphaera xanthi. And the last fungal disease which is caused by a fungus called Helminthosporium triticum. This disease is called blight disease. What happened during this disease? In this disease, white floor-like mass appears, or patches appears on the leaves, which leads to stunted growth. And in this disease, not only leaves but buds and flowers are also affected. So this is all about the diseases caused by fungus in animals, in humans and plants.